So the American Communist Party started this group called the American Peace Mobilization, whose goal was to keep us out of World War II, stop us from giving money to the British, to basically accommodate Hitler. And Frank Marshall Davis was part of that group. And Davis actually joined the party after the signing of the Hitler-Stalin Pact. I mean, once a lot of American communists, especially Jewish American communists, when that pact was signed, they bolted Communist Party USA. They left. So for Davis to actually join the party after the signing of the Hitler-Stalin Pact is pretty remarkable.
You find any anti-Israel, anti-Semitic stuff from Frank Marshall Davis?
I must say that I didn't. No. I did find that Frank Marshall Davis's mentor was a man named William Patterson. And William Patterson helped start Patrice Lumumba University in Moscow, which is the third largest university in the Soviet Union, which has become a sort of training ground for a number of third world terrorists.
There's things in here, and I want to get to the remarkable things that you found in the writings of Frank Marshall Davis and in the words of Barack Obama. We'll get to that here in a second, but I want to make sure that you're clear on this. And this is the reason why we agreed to print the book, is you didn't get into, there's a lot you can get into Frank Marshall Davis. Some people think that that's Barack Obama's father, because there are apparently some photos of Barack Obama's mother taken by Frank Marshall Davis, or at least what it appears.
Right.
And you can find them online, and
she's in the nude.
It's shocking stuff.
It is.
And it's shocking stuff. But you don't address any of that stuff in this.
No.
You don't address the birth certificate thing. You don't. I mean, I asked you about it just a little while ago, and you were like, I don't even know. I don't follow any of that stuff.
Yeah. No, I stayed away from that. I stuck with the history and the ideology that I know. I mean,
the stuff that's all provable.
The stuff that's all provable. There's long evidentiary record of decades of writings that are indisputable. And in fact, also, I don't try to call Obama a communist. That's not the goal here. I mean, the communist is about the communist mentor. And to the extent that there are similarities between Obama and Davis, I say, look, I can't say that Obama thus learned that he wanted universal health care from Davis. But, look at this column from Davis where he's advocating universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
And, look here how he said these things that are eerily similar to what Obama said. Now, can I say conclusively that Obama advocated that because of an evening next to Frank Marshall Davis in January 1976? No, I can't. But mentors matter, and these similarities are quite remarkable.
We've always done something. I mean, I've read them on George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all of the presidents. There's always been an interest in who was the main influence in this person's life. Always. Barack Obama was the one who kind of set the agenda and said, it was my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe it was his dad? Or do you believe it was Frank Marshall Davis?
I think that if anybody can claim the title of mentor to Obama, Davis is the primary candidate. I mean, in fact, the way he comes into Obama's life, Davis was introduced to Obama by Stanley Dunham, the grandfather. Mm-hmm. And the grandfather did that because his grandson, Obama, was lacking a black male father figure in his life.
So how did Grandpa do? He's like, you're a black man. I've got a black grandson.
Well, that's a very good question, and it must show how. I mean, we've always thought Stanley Dunham was pretty far to the left. I mean, you know, guys, we all have kids. If I was going to choose a mentor for my son or grandson, I'd pick like a little league coach or a football coach or a Boy Scout troop master. I wouldn't pick a guy who was a card-carrying member of Communist Party USA, called to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee for his scope of Soviet activities in the United States. So,
really?
So the fact that Dunham would pick Davis. I mean,
I wouldn't even
remarkable.
I wouldn't even know how to get into that circle.
Right? Yeah, great.
I mean,
question.
these people would not even be in my circle of influence at all. I mean, I'd have to go, do you guys know any communists? Where would I find a communist? Because you got to put yourself in the frame. The Soviet Union is still our enemy.
Yeah, well, bear in mind that Obama's mother and Obama's biological father met in a Russian language class at the University of Hawaii.
Which is weird. I mean,
very weird.
You weren't taking, unless you were going to go work for the State Department, which neither of them had any intention of doing.
That's right.
Unless you decided to go into military intelligence, you wouldn't have taken a Russian. You couldn't go to the Soviet Union.
Right.
What were you doing?
Well, and both of them, I quote their biographers in the book. I mean, they were both very sympathetic to communism, both Obama's mother and biological father. Grandfather leaned to the left. I mean, you pointed this out in your show before, up on the board, with all these different influences. So I think, so once the father dies, then there's only Frank Marshall Davis. Some have said Jeremiah Wright is like a mentor, probably. But the mentor, the man that's there throughout Obama's adolescence in the 70s, during that formative period when mentors, have their influence, have their formation, that's Frank Marshall Davis.
Would Jeremiah Wright and Frank Marshall Davis been kindred spirits?
They would have been buddies, especially on that, G blank America thing. Davis, in fact, Glenn, this is one of the things that always troubled me. I was impressed by Davis early in his career and his work, the way he worked his tail off, the way he survived awful racial persecution. And I kept saying again and again, man, this is somebody who should have never been a communist. I mean, this is the quintessential hardworking American. Why is this guy going to the party? But he would go on to ridicule and bash the American way over and over and over again. And as Obama quotes him in Dreams from My Father, Obama's parting words that he gets from Frank Marshall Davis is a sort of diatribe from Davis about the American way and all that blank.
All right, we're going to come back. The name of the book is The Communist by Paul Kengor. When you start to hear what Paul has found in his research, and then you compare it to what Barack Obama has said, it's pretty chilling. And if you want to understand him, you have to look at the influences on his life. This is not for your friends who are like, oh, you call Barack Obama a communist, and he's done great things. Your friends aren't going to, they're never going to change their mind. These are for the people who say something's not right, and I don't know what it is. This is a scholarly book. This is not a smear thing. This is a scholarly book. All of the facts are there. I encourage you to read it and share it with a friend. With a Communist, Frank Marshall Davis, The Untold Story of Barack Obama's Mentor.